There we go. Okay, now I'm recording. So what about the data that we have seen? We here at FindHelp, we work with multiple higher education entities. And so what is the type of information that we have learned from the work that we do? So as of right now, we have been building a network to serve the public, community organizations, and to serve government, healthcare, education, corrections, and helpers of all kinds for more than 10 years. This investment has led to the strongest network available to all people across the nation. We are proud to have served more than 15 million people at this point, with over 500,000 program locations available across the country. So it doesn't matter where the need is, whether it's in California, whether it's in Texas or in Mississippi, you are able to help students and their families. More than 82,000 program locations are leveraging the network with an even deeper engagement by publishing appointments, publishing their eligibility questions, leveraging our referral tracking or documentation services. And so what about higher education specific? So when we look at this data right here, comparing our FindHelp network or overall all of our customers versus what we see in education, is that seasonality. I'm sorry. What we're looking at, it is the percentage of searches by month using data from the last 4 years for the FindHelp network overall of the growth throughout the country. Later months have a significantly greater portion of annual searches. So as you can see, it started in August, September, October, November, December, we see an increase in searches, while for students, for higher education, on the other hand, we also see an increase of searches in later months. But what jumps out the most is that the number of searches at the start of the spring and fall semester. Searches in January, August, and September are significantly higher than all other months. Students using the FindHelp network are much more likely to search resources during these transition points in their educational trajectory. So that's something to keep in mind when students are joining your classes, students are going to your campuses. When are they more likely to actually seek help? So an example, there are a few notable differences between the most searched categories on higher education customer sites versus the other type of customers, such as healthcare or community-based organizations. So one of them, for example, we see students succeed when they are able to manage both life challenges and academic deadlines. Community colleges and universities want to help students achieve their goals, but social factors beyond higher education institutions control, beyond the higher education institutions control, can have detrimental impacts on the student success and graduation rates. I work with multiple with multiple higher education organizations, and definitely student retention is one of the biggest challenges. And a lot of the times it is a direct correlation of what students are going through and the struggles that they're having outside of school. So let's take a look at the searches for tags under the money category. As you can see, they make up a greater proportion of searches on higher education sites than other networks as a whole. In fact, they almost double the overall percentage. Of course, we expect students to look for terms such as financial aid, loans, but what about help pay for car? Or more interestingly, help pay for childcare. 13% of all students using higher education sites are looking for low-cost childcare services. As I mentioned earlier, students succeed when they are able to manage both life challenges and academic deadlines. This is why we are lucky to be working, and partnering with organizations and schools like yourself, like Los Rios, as well as other organizations like Delgado Community College or Ivy Tech, who started a single moms program where they provide the needed extra support for moms while they finish school. And so what about Los Rios? So Los Rios, and I'm gonna show you guys, well, the project or the way I'm working with Los Rios is that each campus has access to this platform. So whenever you are with a student and a student might tell you, hey, I need help trying to find, I don't have the means to access food. Often we find that housing and food are the most searched terms or in a network as a whole. And so, I am actually in Texas, so I'm gonna look up, enter the zip code for a city here in Texas, Leander, Texas. And this is what the student will see. This is what the students see whenever they arrive to our platform. Excuse me. They're able to see these different categories after they enter their zip code. Doesn't matter what state you are, doesn't matter what part of California, which county, which city, you will, just by entering zip code, you will be able to see this. And let's say the student doesn't know what they're looking for. They don't know, what, I don't know if it's emergency food. I don't know if it's food delivery, food pantry. They just want to know anything that is related to food. So by typing food, any program near the zip code that they entered, the student will be able to access that information, whether it's, Hays County Food Bank. And so the system will realize, hey, that's the zip code that this person entered. These are the nearest organizations that provide the service that this person is looking for. It doesn't matter what if it's a student that has DACA, what if they're looking for immigration services? Well, we have we have a legal section where they would be able to search. We have from advocacy and legal aid to meditation, or you can also type in something as simple as immigration to see what type of resources you have around, what type of organizations perhaps serve those students that we often see. Perhaps they need to submit a renewal application for the DACA status. What if they need help with transportation? It might be something as a bus pass. It might be something as, organizations that help as well pay for utilities, help pay for housing. What if they have, they need access for internet? They don't have the means to pay for their monthly internet bill. And so they would have access at any point to these resources. Or as I mentioned, all 4 campuses have access to this. What if you have what if you work with with a counseling team? What if you work with student services and you meet often with students? Well, then you can create an account, sign in, but in this case, because this is I'm gonna jump on this site. So whenever you create an account at any of these 4 white labels, which doesn't matter which school you go, this will be the Folsom Community College, and it's LCH, the FLC hub.findhelp.com. And so you're able to create an account and then help your students at that location. Any student as well can access this at any point. So what if I create an account? I work with student services. A student comes in and they want to talk to me, and you're trying to connect them with those resources that you need. Well, that's really easy. Then you create an account. And if you at any point after this, you have a question, feel free to reach out, and I can definitely kind of like do a slower walkthrough with you and your team if this is something that interests you, learning more about how to use that platform. And so you go here, you can go check people I'm helping. If you have worked with students in the past, you're able to help them get connected with resources. So for example, these are just examples of referrals that we have sent, test referrals. But let's say this could be an actual student. You can have access in your team. You can work with your team in creating referrals. And so if I click Chris, let's say this is a student that somebody else in my team worked with at my school. I can click it. And then what the system will show is that I can create goals for this student. What type of goals? Food, work, housing, transportation, medical. What type of needs does a student have? We can create goals here. What about navigation history? What referrals have been sent for this student? So in this example, this student was referred to community food pantry. And then, well, what if the student came to me today and he was like, hey, you know what? I came yesterday for food pantry, but now I need help with transportation. Well, I can just start a referral from here. And then the student's name is going to appear, and the system is going to know that any and all resources that I'm looking for right now is for this student. And so now I can go in and say, well, you said that you need transportation. Transportation for school. Let's look what type of organizations are providing help for transportation for school. Childcare center, as St. Edward's University parking, commute transportation options. And so I could either, depending on what the organization choice is or preference, they might tell you to go to their site and fill out an application. They might tell you, to go to their website, log a referral. Some others, let me see if I can find one applied to their site. So for example, others, childcare center, this one specifically, I'm able to send them a referral directly where this is my name, the person that I'm helping. If you're a student, a counselor or an advisory team or a social worker that is working with students often, your name will appear here, the name of the student, the information, and then it would ask me for their phone number. Some of these options are not standards, just this is kind of like the demo, but you will see that what you can expect is their name, their email, their phone number, and then asking them, well, how do you want to contact? How do you want to be contacted? You not want to be contacted at this point. Maybe they're going through something that is rather sensitive and they don't want to be contacted just yet. But you want to make sure that you keep track. You want to make sure that this student is in your system. So whenever you're able to come back and help the student at a different time, you can say don't reach out, and at that point, it will save. With every single referral, you have to hit that you consent. For every single referral that we send out, the student or the person you're helping has to consent. We take, FindHelp. We are HIPAA, FERPA, and High Trust certified, meaning that all the information that is entered in our portal, we have a set of requirements to make sure that that information is safe and that it is not going to be utilized by somebody that shouldn't. So in this case, I see, give me a second, I see a question. Yes, I will definitely send a link of this recording. And so I'm sorry, I lost my thought over here. But so once the student is ready to be contacted, then we can go back. But as of right now, if I hit send, what it will do is that since I hit don't reach out, it will just save it on my people I'm helping. And so whether you are constantly helping students as a counselor, as an advisor, or you're just helping them from time to time, you can definitely keep track of those students. You are able to refer them to your site, whether, doesn't matter which campus you are, CRC, whether you are ARC, whether you're a city, whether you're a Folsom, doesn't matter which campus. Each campus has access to this, and you can refer them at any point, or you can walk them through it. If you are a social worker, if you want to learn more about how to use the site, how to have access to, so for example, right now I'm gonna end this session for this student, and it's gonna take me back to the people I'm helping. If you want to learn more about how to take advantage of these tools that are already available for you guys, as how do you to keep track with the referrals that you are, that you're working. A lot of the times, with a higher education, you guys might have deliverables. Maybe you apply for a grant, you were given a grant. Part of that grant is some sort of requirement to have to show how many referrals have you been helping, how many students have you been helping. Well, in FindHelp, you actually have access to data, standard data. So it can be, so my site tools, I can go to site analytics, and there you have access to multiple reports from what are the most common words that your students are searching at your campus. So I can look up and see what students at CRC are looking for. What is the most common used word? What type of, what counties are the ones that are being heavily impacted? So those type of data you also have access by using the site, every single campus. And so if you have any question or you are interested in learning more about, the work that we're doing, or perhaps you realize, you know what, I didn't know we had this tool. I want to learn more. I want for my campus, for my student services to share this information with students. I want to create flyers or anything like that. you can reach out to me at any point, so that I can walk you and teach you and your team how to use this. Like, you're able to share information. Let's say the student doesn't want to be referred just yet, but they want to have the information. Well, you can enter their name, their email, and then your email is the person referring, and then their email, and then a message. Well, guess what? What if the student does not speak English, or English is not their first language? Then we are able to translate everything on the site. As a matter of fact, we can even translate the entire site. So myself, I'm a first generation student, my first language being Spanish. And so if I want to translate the entire site to a different language, in this case Spanish, then we can do that. Then everything on the site is going to be in the preferred language. And once you're ready, maybe to change it back to English, you go back here. And then what if you have partners or organizations that you work closely with? Then you are able to you want to make sure that they're in this site. You can look at any point. You can always kind of like look up, let's say YMCA. Look at that. We have YMCA is in the site. What if whenever you type in the organization that you work closely with is not there? Well, at any point, you can scroll to the bottom of the site. And then you can just click suggest program. Whenever you click suggest program, it will let you enter any type of information. So if there's a program that you would love to see, but perhaps it's not part of the, it's not on the website yet, but you know that you guys work closely with this program to help your students at your campus, then you're able to enter and suggest you're able to suggest a new program. Well, what if that program already exists, but I realized that the information is not quite accurate on that program card. Let's say this information, the phone number, for a fact that the phone number on this organization is not correct. Well, I can just click suggest, enter my email, and write, hey, the contact phone number is incorrect. This is a correct phone number. And within 48 hours, we have a team that their sole job is to confirm that the information on these program cards is accurate. They will go in, and within 48 hours, they will reach out to this organization and confirm that the information you provided is correct, and then update the program card. And so these are the advantages of being able to share these resources with your students, because it doesn't matter where they are, doesn't matter if it's at midnight, doesn't matter if they're in their own. There maybe a lot of times for students, they feel a little bit embarrassed trying to seek help. As anyone that has worked in education, I myself work in education for 3 to 4 years. I know the students, not a lot of times they come to you and tell you what's going on in their life. Not a lot of times there is like this some embarrassment at times, or anything. The harder it is for them to get help, the less likely it's going to be for them to actually search for it. And so by just providing this link and letting them know, hey, if you need help trying to connect, if you need help with food, if you need help with transportation, you know what, share this link. You go to the site, you'll have access to. But if you want to learn more about how your team can utilize it, feel free to email me at any time. I'm gonna stop sharing right now, and then I want to give some time to see if you guys have any questions or anything specific that you might want to know about the site and about the this resource that you guys have access to already. All right. Well.
Oh, hi.
Go ahead, Kim.
No, yeah, I just, if I do have, for example, a student that I do want to refer to these services, how do I go about and start that process? Whom do I specifically send them to?
So, for example, right now, I know that I work with Michelle. She is the leader with the wellness team. I also work with some of the with the student services folks as well. So some of them are aware. But at any point, let's say, what campus do you go to? And if you don't mind me asking, what team do you work with?
Oh, I work at CRC. I'm actually a biology teacher.
Gotcha. Yeah. So for example, if you just want to help a student, you can just share the link. So let's say, so for CRC, it would be the CRC hub.findhelp.com, and I will be sharing this information as well. You can share that link to a student and be like, hey, you know what? Go ahead and use this tool to have access to local resources, whatever you need. You find. But a lot of the times, what I'm trying to accomplish is continue my work with student services. So that we can provide an extra layer of support to students so that they are aware that, one, this tool is available, and two, that there is a workflow so that when students are being referred or students need this extra help, they feel comfortable going with the team. But at any point, any of you guys can share this link, and the students can go on on their own, or you can walk them if you feel comfortable and you want to make sure that student definitely gets connected to resource. You can just jump on the site, enter their zip code, and just kind of like walk them that first time, that initial time, right? Like, hey, this is what it looks like. Let's look this. Oh, you're looking for transportation. All right, let's see what we can find, and kind of like walk them through that process, that initial process. That I can guarantee you, after that, they will feel comfortable going on their own at any time. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, yeah. As classified professional that's not with student services per se, I'm a biology lab technician. Would I be able to direct the student as well, or would I be able to get onto his website and help the student as well?
Oh yeah, anyone in the staff, actually, student or somebody that have this link is able to access it. Let's say a student is on vacation in Hawaii and they're looking for resources in Hawaii. As long as, if you know that link, you can access it at any point. It doesn't matter whether during work hours or outside of working hours, right? And I'll be sharing these links and the slides as well, so that in your campus which link, and you don't have to use your campus specific link, but it's just to say, it's for better understand, to say, well, what the American says, the Folsom School, what is the Folsom students looking for? What is the most search word for Folsom students? Because might be that Folsom students are looking for transportation, whilst CRC, they are looking for food, right? And so understanding those gaps also can help kind of like move kind of like talking to your leadership and letting them know, like, hey, these are the needs that we're seeing, and this, perhaps we should do something about this. Bring some sort of organization to campus and create some sort of partnership in your community.
I see. Yes, with this information, I feel like it's really good information, a really good link, or good resources for our community. Are you going to be at convocation? Because I think this information should be set at convocation, like on Friday, when it's the whole mass of faculty and classified professionals and whatnot.
I'll be honest with you, I will not be, because there's this. I was given this opportunity to present today, because I know this is extremely important. Students, as of right now, we work with other organizations that they informing us that over 11 million students in higher education have dropped out of school because of a problem that could have been solved with a $300 cash amount. So a lot of the times students are dropping out because they feel overwhelmed and they feel like they don't know where to turn to, right? And that's why I wanted to take this time. Now, I would love to, if I'm given an opportunity to present, on Friday or anything like that, and you guys are able to connect me with somebody, I will definitely. I'm always open to present this information, just because I myself, as I mentioned, right, I'm a first generation, a student, and I know the struggles the students go through. So if you guys have a contact, or if you guys want to request, some for me to have some time, I'm definitely open for that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other question? Alrighty. Well, as I mentioned, I will be sharing the recording. I will also be sharing the slides. If you have any question, feel free to reach out to me. I'll make sure to add my contact information to the presentation, to the slides, so that you're able to reach out. I would love to, if you work with student services, if you work with counseling, with the office of the dean, or if you know that perhaps your campus is not utilizing this tool to the best of their abilities, and you would like to see the students' awareness of this tool, feel free to reach out and connect me with those key contacts that could make sure that you guys take advantage of this. Because as I mentioned, you guys have access to this site. Students have access to this site, and sometimes the biggest challenge is a lack of knowledge, that they don't know that they have access to this, that they don't know where to turn. I work with youth at a high risk in a high risk area here in Austin, Texas, and a lot of times families are not aware of all the resources that exist around them. They feel overwhelmed, they feel lost, and they don't even know where to turn, and they feel they're on their own. So just making sure that your students, your teams are aware of these resources, I think is paramount. So, if you have more questions, you want to connect, you would love to introduce me to someone in your team that you think would benefit from knowing and taking advantage of this tool, feel free to reach out. But, that's all I wanted to share with you guys today.
Thank you.
Yes, I love that idea, Blanca, about putting the information on the course syllabus. But yeah, alrighty.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Have a great day, guys.